If you are thinking about selling your home right now, I want to start by saying something very clearly. The market has not collapsed. Buyers have not vanished, and homes are still selling every single day. But what has changed is the experience of selling, the feeling of selling, and most homeowners are emotionally unprepared for what a balanced market actually feels like. Because selling in a balanced market is not dramatic, it's not loud, and it's not instant. It's quieter, it's slower, it's more thoughtful, and for sellers who got used to the chaos of the past few years, that quiet can feel like a failure even when it's completely normal. If we haven't met yet, my name is Rima Rafeh with the XP Realty and team leader of the Rafeh Group here in the Santa Clarita Valley, Los Angeles area. In today's world, conversation matters more than ever. Sellers today are not struggling because homes cannot sell. Sellers are struggling because they are operating with outdated expectations. They're expecting a seller's market, but they are living in a balanced one. And the gap between expectations and reality is where the stress lives. A balanced market is a market where buyers have choices again. It's where homes don't automatically sell in 48 hours just because a sign went up. It's where buyers act like consumers again. They compare, they think, they negotiate, they hesitate, they ask for repairs, and they care about value, and sellers have to adjust to that reality. One of the first feelings sellers experience in balanced market is discomfort with time. In the frenzy markets, time disappeared. Homes sold instantly, so sellers believe that the market time returns. 2 weeks on market can be normal. 30 days can be normal. 45 days can be normal depending on the price point. The home is not broken just because it did not sell in a weekend. The market is simply behaving normally again. But sellers interpret that normal time as rejection. They start asking, why is nobody rushing? Why aren't people fighting? Why aren't we getting 10 offers? And then the answer is simple. Buyers no longer have to rush. They no longer have to panic, and they no longer have to wave everything to win. They can breathe, and then buyers can breathe. Sellers have to compete. Another feeling sellers experience is silence. Silence is one of the most confusing parts of a balanced market. Sellers list their home, they expect immediate calls, and instead they hear nothing. And silence feels personal. It feels like buyers are ignoring you. But silence is not personal. Silence is a buyer behavior in a choice-filled environment. In a balanced market, buyers don't announce objections. They don't call to explain why they didn't offer. They simply move on. This is why balanced markets required sellers to read market differently. You don't wait for buyers to tell you what's wrong. You watch what they do, showings, feedback, online clicks, days on the markets, buyer behavior is the message. Balanced market also bring back something sellers forgot existed: negotiation. During extreme sellers markets, sellers were used to buyer accepting terms. Buyers didn't ask for much because they were afraid of losing. In balanced markets, buyers ask, they request, they question, they negotiate, and sellers sometimes take that as a disrespect when it's simply normal real estate again. Negotiation is not a sign the deal is weak. Negotiation is the sign that buyers feel empowered enough to engage. Silence is worse. Negotiation means the buyer wants the home but wants it to make sense. Balanced markets are about making deals make sense, not about winning bidding wars. Another thing sellers are not warned about is the emotional roller coaster of showings without offers. Sellers think showings equal offers. They think traffic equals urgency. But in balanced market, buyers tour homes the way people shop for cars. They look at 5, 6, 7 options. They compare They wait. They don't rush, so sellers experience activity without action. And that can be frustrating if you don't understand the psychology behind it. In balanced markets, buyers are trying to avoid regret. They are cautious because rates are higher. They are cautious because affordability is tighter. And they're cautious because the headlines have made them nervous. That doesn't mean they won't buy. It means they will buy carefully, and careful buyers take longer. Balanced markets also expose homes more honestly. In a frenzy market, flaws got ignored. Buyers overlooked outdated kitchens, buyer ignored weird layouts, and buyer accepted less perfect condition. In balanced market, flaws matter, layout matters, storage matters, and buyers don't want projects, they want move-in ready or they want a discount. And this is why preparation matters more than ever. Sellers who prepare win, and sellers who list as is with no plan struggle. Balanced markets reward effort. They reward readiness and they reward presentation. And this is where sellers often misunderstand the role of staging and marketing. In hot markets, marketing almost didn't matter because everything sold. In balanced market, marketing is everything. Photos are everything. Video is everything. The first impression happens online. So if your listing does not stop the scroll, buyers will not come see it. Balanced markets are won on the internet first. Another part that sellers don't realize is that open houses work differently now. Open houses is balanced market are not just about crowds. They're about conversation. They're about creating emotional connection. Sellers shouldn't judge success by how many people came through. Sellers should judge success by whether the right buyers came through. Balanced market also separate homes into categories. Entry-level homes can still be competitive. Move-in ready homes can still sell fast. Homes that are overpriced or need work will sit longer. Luxury homes are taking longer and fixers need discounts. Micro markets have differently. Balance does not mean everything is slow. Balanced means the market is selective. And that selectivity is what sellers need to respect. Buyers are not saying no to housing. Buyers are saying no to homes that don't feel worth it. And in sellers who understand that, can position correctly. I see the biggest mistake sellers make in a balanced market is clinging to the past. They price based on peak comps. They expect peak behavior. They assume buyers will stretch like they used to. But buyers today are not the buyers of 2021. They are different. They have different budgets, different fears, and different expectations. So sellers who refuse to adjust end up chasing the market downward. Balanced market punish overpricing quickly. Overpricing does not create negotiation room, and overpricing creates invisibility. Buyers don't offer slightly less, they don't offer at all. They wait, silence grows, days accumulate, and leverage disappears. Balanced market also require flexibility. Flexibility with showings, flexibility with repairs, flexibility with timelines. Not because sellers are weak, but because buyers have option. A rigid seller loses buyers. A strategic seller wins buyers. And here's the most important takeaway of all. Balance does not mean bad. Balance means normal. Balance means healthy. And balance means both sides have a voice. And sellers who understand balanced market early experience less stress, stronger negotiation, and better outcomes. Selling in a balanced market feels different because it requires strategy instead of assumption. It requires preparation instead of entitlement. And it requires patience instead of panic. So homes are still selling. Great homes are still moving quickly. Buyers are still writing strong offers. But the homes that win are the homes that are positioned correctly, priced correctly, marketed correctly, and negotiated wisely. If you are thinking about selling and want a clear strategy for how to win in today's market, I would love to help you. My name is Rima Rafeh with the XP Realty. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.